valuations and 51% and all that. It's, it adds a little bit of, juice, salt and pepper and all that good stuff. So
A little paprika, a little bit.
paprika. Yeah, I love paprika too.
What about some cumin? A little cumin?
Oh, what are you, Indian now?
No, I'm just going through the spice cabinet, okay?
You spicy?
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 12 of Hobby Update, your favorite basketball card podcast on the entire internet. My name is Max. You can find me on Instagram at Putnam Cards. This is my good friend Shai at Shaywave Vlogs on Instagram. Shai, how are we doing today?
¿Cómo estás? Welcome to Hobby Update. I am doing very, very, very well. Lots of things going on in the hobby as usual. So let's get this show started.
All right, I heard you attended a little event this past week. How did that go?
So what was it? On July 6th, I believe, Tuesday, a few days ago, Bleecker Street had a trade night in New York City, downtown Manhattan. I attended it, and it was honestly a very, very good time. Met a lot of local collectors, big and small, all over New York City in the local area, from Jersey, Connecticut. I think somebody came from Boston also, which is kind of like, wow. But it was a great event. Shout out to Cage. Shout out to Laura Golden. You know me loving dropping names. And Mark and Salt Bay for putting on the show. I think that's his name. Yeah, Jake Salter, Salt Bay.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, they're the ones that kind of basically run Bleecker. But Nick Giuliano was there. It was a lot of big people there. Black Jaded Wolf was there. These are pretty common, famous names. So it was great to network and see all of them, what they're up to. I even I went there just to have fun, and somehow I ended up doing a trade deal towards the end of the night. So it was definitely fun. Highly recommended. I had a great hobby weekend.
Sweet. Well, if I was in New York, I would have been there. Fortunately, I'm not. But it sounded like a fun time from all the videos, pictures that I saw. It looked interesting. So I'm glad you had a nice time.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, card of the day. Jumping right in, I'll start. I gotta give a shout out to Yamwax. I just have to do it with my card of the day, the Elon Musk rookie card, SGC 10. I love this card. SGC. We have certain thoughts about SGC, but it does go well with Elon's suit here in the picture with the tux. And then you have the SGC tux, number 48 of 50. The serial number comes with a matching NFT. So shout out to Yamwax again for the thoughtfulness for this gift. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah. Not my card of the day, but yeah, double shout out to Yamwax. I got one of these bad boys also, 35 out of 50. Look at us, both of us with the card. So cool. But yeah, big shout out to Yamwax. Really, really good dude in the hobby. Genuinely, like a genuine dude. So, but my card of the day, we don't want to keep the same card. That would be kind of corny. But it's a 2017 Panini Cornerstones. I don't know if you know that. LeBron James Downtown.
You just trade for this, or you've had this?
I've had this for like over a year.
Wow.
Yeah. The thing is that I have a lot of cards, and a lot of people don't know that I still own them because I never sell shit. So chances are, whatever you see on my page, 99% I probably have it. So like, don't be afraid to scroll down and be like, oh, is this guy a dealer? Nope. But it's a PSA 10 pop 35, which when I bought it, it was pop like 10 or 12. So like pop did go up.
It's pop 35?
It's a PSA 10 pop 35.
Wow, no, that completely turns me off.
It's a case hit. I know a Kaboom and Color Blast have been all the rage, but Downtown is a serious contender. in terms of, what's the hottest Panini insert, you know what I mean? But Kaboom Color Blast, like the hobby has decided as like the premier, but this is definitely in the upper mid tier level. But these cards, guys, they look way better in hand than what you see in photos. It's one of those cards, you just got to see it. There's like weird refractor type looks, segments of this card. So I definitely love this card. So that's my card of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the downtowns. I didn't know the pops were that high on some of them, but I mean, downtown's clear top 5 Panini basketball insert, no question about it. Uh, there's a cult following for the downtown, so cool card. Didn't know you owned it. I'm sure there's thousands of other cards you own. I didn't know that I don't know you have. But yeah, card of the day right there. All right, jumping right in, we have to address the big news this week, which was Alt's acquisition. 51% of the Stephen Curry 2009 National Treasures Logoman auto 101, like the holy grail of Steph Curry cards. They bought 51% of it, a $5.9 million valuation. There was some scandal over the announcement. A lot of big time media outlets said that this is a record sale of the card, when in fact it was just a record valuation. When I first heard that, I don't really look too. I personally don't look too much into the wording of it, the details. How I just see it is smart people at Alt, Lior, being kind of the head of the table there. He values that card at probably more than $5.9 million. And that to me speaks a lot about where the market is. We have cards selling for over $5 million, modern cards selling for those prices. To me, that says a lot about where we're at right now, where the hobby has been and where it is today. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Few things. Obviously, this is great news for the hobby. We love record sales. Come on, let's get real. Like we all want to continue to see record sales. Why? That shows more and more confidence in the hobby, and that just it trickles down, to be honest, to even the smaller cards, not base cards. No offense, joke, lol. No hate. But anyways, but yeah, so like this is the thing that's so frustrating in the hobby. We have new guys innovating, doing new things, and starting funds and buying cards, but then they have to get like a lot of negative press. You know what I mean? And we've seen it time and time. Let's just trace back a little, like PWCC. They had that scandal, like which that word I will reuse it, with the whole Brady thing where it was Photoshop, some weird Photoshop thing. Anyways, it could have been completely avoidable, right? And then we had collectible scandal. We did an episode on that baseball card. Do you remember the number?
Yeah, Babe Ruth. Yeah, the Ruth.
Oh, you kind of froze. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was like a giant number. There was commotion in the hobby nerd people. Then we have now Alt with this amazing news. But why doesn't amazing news have to be all negative and all that? Thanks to Cardboard. But the main bottom line is that they could have, what they did was pretty amazing. We love it. We love it. But what they released, the media and the marketing, nobody believed it. So that's the biggest takeaway. If for example, if Alt just said only Alt has acquired 51% of the Curry Logoman at a valuation of 5.9 million, making it the most expensive sports card. No negative press. We understand. We know what's going on.
Well, my how I view it is the only negative press it's getting is from within the hobby community. Outsiders, all they're going to see, they're not going to care whether it was 51% at this valuation or this or that. They just see $5.9 million for a sports card.
Yes.
That's what an outsider sees, at least what I think an outsider sees. And so that's what I care about. Now, obviously, it would have been better if it was properly reported, instead of saying that it was a record sale, it was a record valuation. But it's just I'm not putting too much into it. But I totally get why people from within the hobby are like, no, let's get this straight, and let's get this right.
That's exactly the point. Like we see the commotion because we're knee deep in the hobby. Whoever's listening to this podcast, chances are you knee deep in the hobby. You love this hobby, and we want the facts straight. But for the allure, for the glam, to make it simplify it, you know what I mean? Maybe that's why that press release was allowed. You know what I mean? And obviously, Alt has reposted. You know you know the the thing that we're having a commotion about reposted it a lot, so that makes them, we're holding them accountable because they're acknowledging that it wasn't a sale, it was more of a valuation, you know what I mean? So they
Yeah.
kept reposting that, so that adds more fuel to the fire. Bottom line is, it's great news for the hobby. You know, just get your marketing right. You know, you could have fixed this. Even if what I just read was true, average person on Wall Street or the retail guy, they can interpret that. They're smart enough to be like, okay, I'll just bought a $5.9 million card. You know what I mean? It could have made everybody happy. It's just a little,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate. You know, it's a learning lesson. We're in a new stage, so like these guys are learning.
Well, the beautiful thing about the hobby is that no one will ever remember about this a week from now, and the hobby will move on to a completely a new piece of news.
Scandal.
Well, hopefully not. But well, Lior and the man himself, Adam Lefko, did a live IG live detailing all about this transaction, the deal, how it went down, the thought process behind it. It was pretty remarkable. Highly suggest you go rewatch or re-listen if you have not already. One little tidbit that I heard from the live though is that Lior bought this card. Well, there's two tidbits, but the first one was Lior bought this card with the expectation that it could potentially 10x in 10 years. So he bought the card at a valuation, or he bought 51% of the card at a valuation of $5.9 million. According to him, he expects, or he would like that card. He sees that card being 10 times what it's worth today in 10 years, which would put that card right under $60 million in a decade from now. I don't think we can possibly debate whether that's doable or not. But I just look at that and say, wow, there are really smart people with deep pockets and a lot of resources and a lot of connections that believe that this market is really going to do some things in the long term.
No, for sure. $60 million for a card is like beyond mind blowing now. But we've been mind blown every few months where we're getting mind blown, to be honest. So right now we're being mind blown. Something that's gonna happen 10 years from now, and at this crazy rate of being mind blown every few months, not that crazy, to be honest. If you look at the history of what's been going on in the last few months, just one little last thing. No shot at anybody, but shout out to PWCC and Jesse Craig. That Rob G mantle sell at PSA 9, a clean deal. The guy bought the card. He paid the money. He has it in his hand. He's going off showing it. He doesn't own a percentage of it. It's a real deal. Like he paid the money, and he got the card in his hand, and he owns it. Clean deal, and the hobby loves that and respects that. Like you can't argue that.
Yeah.
And just to take back, when that happened, we had issues too. The hobby community had issues. What was the issue? Private deal, all this nonsense. But now,
every time there's a big deal nowadays, there's the people are going to come out of the woodworks. Yeah. Oh, it's not a real sale, a private deal, Rob G. It's like, relax. Jesus Christ, relax.
Now that Rob G sales looks like a fucking, like, wow, the whole thing, that's such a clean job. We're like, good job, clean sale. Like one person bought it and you got the money, even if it's private. Good for you. You have the card. It's a real sale. It's like, as we're collecting, you buy something on eBay, you know, that you own the card, you paid X amount. That's a real genuine sale. That's it. You know, it's a comp. But all the valuations and 51% and all that, it's, you know, it adds a little bit of, you know, juice, you know, salt and pepper and all that good stuff. So
a little paprika, you know, a little bit.
Paprika. Yeah, I love paprika too.
What about some cumin? A little cumin?
You know? Oh, what are you, Indian now?
No, I'm just going through the spice cabinet, okay?
You spicy?
All right.
Imagine Max on the show Hot Wings or Hot Ones eating spicy stuff that you won't even get past the first wing.
No, no, I wouldn't be able to get through it.
Like
But
for
all
me.
right, now we've reached the point in the podcast where we're going over hypothetical what if Max were on Hot Ones scenarios. So I think that means it's time to move time to move on. The second little tidbit though that Lior said in that live was that he can't. He said these aren't the exact words, but basically said he can't wait for a time in the hobby where cards are graded by computers, and that's just an accepted norm. Which I was glad to hear because I put out a poll on my Instagram a couple of days ago, and it basically just asked the question of, do you think all of our cards are going to be graded or potentially having to be regraded by computers within the next, decade? I think that's what it said. 58% of people said yes, that's going to happen. 42% of people said no, that's not going to happen. Now, why is this relevant? Golden Auctions, Ken Golden, daddy himself, he put out a whole post saying that this Jordan Fleer in their most recent auction was withdrawn. And the exact wording he said was, "We noticed that upon examination of the card that it may not warrant a PSA Gem Mint 10 assessment. We informed PSA of the issue, and with our consignor's approval, we will be sending the card back to PSA for review. It is possible that the holder is compromised, and PSA will be examining that as well." I can't wait until all of our cards are graded by computers, and I think it's inevitable. Um, like, just think about it. It would just make everything so much more unanimous. It would make everything so much more there's no questions. There's no scandals. It would make things better. You know?
No, I 1,000,000% agree on that. But just to touch on that, I believe don't quote me or whatever. But I think I saw comments and stuff. But it had a little bit of a crack or something, and there's weird things in a PSA slab where if there's frosting around the edges, it can show that it was tampered with. So basically, bottom line, Ken Golden's group, they felt it was enough to be justified, where like we're not sure, you know what, let's give this card back to PSA, let them double check everything is legit, and then we'll put it back on the market. So that's like the real issue. And guess what, Ken, he replaced that with another PSA 10 instantly. But I think you have some news of the video that Ken dropped with the 40 PSA sales.
Oh yeah.
If you want to go on with that.
Ken Golden also dropped a video, basically saying that they had this huge influx of Jordan Fleer PSA 10s. They had around 50 or 60, I don't know the exact number, 40, 50, 60, something around there. And they said that they're down to their last 3 or 4, and that the huge influx of supply is basically no more. And he thinks that this could kind of be the start of seeing that card in particular climb back up the ladder. I just love the transparency, to be honest with you. Now, I wish, obviously, he didn't do this for obvious reasons, but I wish he said when he got all these Jordans that he got 40 or 50 Jordan Fleer PSA 10s instead of telling us afterwards when they're all gone, so we could kind of have seen that supply increase beforehand. But obviously, there's reasons why he didn't do that. Nonetheless, I just think that that's very cool that he told us, look, we only have 3 or 4 of these left, and then we're all out. And there's only 300, 16 or whatever the number is of these out there. The supply is going way, 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 way down, and demand is just going to keep going up. So what do you think it's going to happen with that card from here on?
It's almost, if you told this to anybody, it's almost a no-brainer. Basically, $720,000 sale. If you had a PSA 10, send it to Ken. You know what I mean? And you sign whatever, you know what I mean? Like once you send it to Golden, they can list it or whatever. But bottom line is the influx of supply of these PSA 10s are basically he basically said it's done. So that could only mean one thing. A lot of these new PSA 10s were sold at these record 6-figure numbers, anywhere from 700K, whatever the record was, all the way down to like the recent one was like 200 or whatever. But that's such big numbers. It could only mean one thing. these guys that bought it, we all know they're very, very strong hands. You know, they're just gonna like tuck it away and they can wait. You know, these guys are billionaires where they have so much money. They don't give a damn if it goes down 50%. Like, I just have it. I'll worry about it in 10, 20 years from now. And that only means one thing. If you have the PSA 10 Jordan, chances are it's going up. And, you know, we've been seeing, you know, it creep up and all that good stuff. So the fact that he provided that much transparency, I think speaks volume. You know what I mean? And like, that's such valuable information. Like kudos, right? Kudos.
Yeah. Kudos to Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also in the video that he posted about it, he had some really nice, intense music in the background, which always helps. You can never go wrong with that kind of music. But yeah, I just think it's cool. You know, we're going to the National here. The supply of, you know, maybe one of the most important cards of the hobby. What? Timeout? What did I time out?
Timeout. Dude, full disclosure. What the F do you own, Max? Do you own a Jordan Fleer rookie card?
Okay. Can I just say something? It's like, it's not, I'm not saying because it's factual. It's objectively true. It is one of the most known, important, trend-setting cards in the whole hobby.
I listen, we all know that, but the fact that we're on a podcast and all that, you know,
full disclosure, I'm one of the 2,800 people out there who own a Jordan Fleer PSA 9.
Is that the pop 2,800-ish?
Yeah. Can I was, you know what? Rant time. Okay, this doesn't just apply to cards. It applies to any asset out there. Some people are under the impression that you just airdropped an asset from the sky. I was just airdropped a Jordan Fleer PSA 9 from the sky, and now I have to pump it up. I have to talk good about the card. You know, it like no one ever thinks, oh, maybe Max thought that it was an important card before he bought it, and that's why he went out and bought it. And now he just has the same thesis of the card,
and it's playing out.
Well, it's not playing out. It was important before I bought it.
Okay, yeah, the important, yeah, but the upside potential.
I'm not trying to pump it up. You know what? Jordan Fleer, it sucks. It's the worst card ever. Never buy it. It's only one of the most cultural important pieces of cardboard in the world.
And to be very, very frank, I kind of low-key want just the PSA 1 damaged one, just to say I have it and just tuck it away and be done with it. You know what I mean? I kind of do want one now. I never thought I was gonna say that.
I mean, good for you. I think every collector should have some kind, whatever they deem to be a Jordan rookie card. There's a couple options. Every collector should have one of those in their collections. Yeah. But back to what I was saying. We got all the, Ken said he got rid of all these Jordans. It's all gone. We're going to the National. I feel like there's going to be a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. A lot of celebrities are going to be there. I feel like they sold out of all the tickets. They had to reissue more tickets, and then those sold out. This event is going to be crazy. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's now in 20 days from now. So look, I can't wait.
Yeah, just let's just close this up. Put a bow on it. I heard that term from somebody else. Let's put a bow on this segment. Just to add, like, why I may think the Jordan Fleer is gonna go up is because Gary freaking V, the most influential guy, he said that at the National, there's only 2 freaking cards he's buying, man. He's buying the LeBron Topps Chrome PSA 10, and he's buying the Jordan Fleer rookie 86 Fleer rookie PSA 10. So that just adds another juice of like, oh my God, it's probably gonna excel higher. I'm pumping, not pumping, I'm promoting, or whatever you want to call it. I'm talking about this card in such a positive way, and I do want one. Just full transparency, you know me.
Okay, well, there's that. Shai, we finally convinced him to get an 86 Fleer, even though he's gonna get like a fucking PSA 0.5 or whatever. Like, yeah. But we've made progress. I'm proud of you.
Never Beckett.
Okay, well, let's not get into that. That's a whole thing. But yeah, another thing I want to talk about today, because we kind of talked about computer grading and alt and fractional and record sales, a lot of kind of technology. I just want to throw out one idea out there. This isn't really relating to anything that in the news or we were talking about, but in terms of like retail product, I've had this idea for a while. Uh, if anyone knows NBA Top Shot, sorry if I triggered you. I apologize. I hate NBA Top Shot, but the way that they do it is everyone gets into like the queue, everyone gets in a line, for instance, and then it's random of who gets the Top Shot packs. Okay. It's a random thing. You just say, yes, I want one. And then you get a place in line. Okay. Why doesn't Panini do this with retail product?
Oh, damn, man. These the whole system of getting Panini printing cards, sending it to these distributors, then they mark it up and sending it to retail like sports card shops, and then they mark it up again to us. It's 2021, dude. Figure it out. Like Panini, you're so freaking stupid, man. You could have like eat up all those margins. You know what I mean? Get rid of these stupid distributors. Put little money into tech and coding and getting the shit right on your Panini website where there's no bots like buying like 1,000 of the new Prism Hobby box. You know, and just figure it out. Like, trust me, it's all computer, it's all coding. You know what I mean? There's a solution for all this, and all these things could be eliminated. You know what I mean? So like I just get so frustrated and annoyed that this Panini company is like thinking like 1970s. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like this is 2020. Everything, all this could be solved with technology. You know what I mean? The right coding, the right software, the right website. You know what I mean? Look at Yeezys when they drop. You know, there's a waiting room. Like, like figure something out. You know what I mean? And like just like everybody could be happy. Technically, Panini could make all these things right, and Panini's on the block. You know, for sale apparently. So
I've heard that rumor from multiple people.
it's gonna happen, and when it happens, I think it's gonna be very very big news in the hobby, and it can change the landscape in the hobby very 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 big. Because who knows what's gonna happen after? They may cancel so many cards. They may, who knows? It's, I don't want to like start speculating, but it's gonna be major news if Panini gets bought out. Huge news.
Huge news. Yeah, that I mean, I don't want to say I can't wait for it because I don't really know if it's gonna happen, but that would be monstrous.
To be honest, we don't even know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. You know?
Well,
Like,
I guess if you own a lot of LeBron or Jordan autos, it could potentially be a bad thing.
how would that be?
Well, if Upper Deck or
Okay.
gets the license back or something, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole other story if Upper Deck gets back involved. But then, to be honest, let's just put a bow. That's my new favorite line when we close.
Okay.
Bow, bow and arrow. I love bows.
Shout out to Jamal Murray. Okay.
To put a bow on this, if Panini gets sold and Upper Deck is back competing and Panini even loses the license, do you realize the card of my day that I just posted? The downtown, like what classic inserts that you don't value as much, it's gonna be a way bigger deal. Like anything Panini, oh my god, it's gonna be gold. Panini, the golden era. I can see that happening 20 years.
I would 100% disagree with everything that you just said.
Okay, why?
Upper Deck and Tops run the shit. Like, there's a reason people like the Exquisites, the Tops Chromes. Panini was inspired. The products that Panini comes out were inspired by Upper Deck and Tops. A lot of them.
What you just said.
You think people are gonna? You think if they got the license back, people would be like, "Oh, like I gotta load up. Like this Panini shit's gonna go through the roof."
1,000,000%. I have to fight
No.
because the influx of new people that came into the hobby in the last 3 years is probably so big, because that's the biggest influx we've seen in 3 years. Guess what the hell they know? All they know is fucking Panini cards, Prism cards, base cards, and all that. So once they graduate from the Panini base card, this new group that's gonna probably potentially be in the hobby for longer periods of time, all they're familiar with Panini, and they're gonna be like, okay, all I know is Panini. You know what I mean? Okay, what's the biggest card? Okay, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So they're gonna be like low key. Like Panini could be like, oh my god, this is the Panini era, the legendary Panini era. I know it sounds crazy now, but 10 years from now, Panini, why making a steak face? If anybody's
I've just never heard anyone rave about Panini.
Dude, man, when like a lot of things, when it's out, when it's available, nobody likes it. When it's all discontinued, everybody was like, "Oh my God, hoops! Look at the BAMS cards that I have. High voltage 500." Nobody wanted that shit. Now, oh my God, we're kissing their ass. Like, oh my God, you have a BAMS, you have a Slam BAMS. You know what I mean? So like, it takes time. But guess what? The theory and the thesis is the same. Once like it's canceled, something everybody wants it. So if Panini, God forbid, they lost their license, chances are all their shit is gonna probably go higher. All like their important big stuff. You know what I mean? Just like how Upper Deck and like all these inserts and stuff that came out from all these companies, they're a big deal now because everything's canceled. So if Panini ever gets canceled, guess what? Those rare stuff is gonna shoot to the moon. That's just my
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you could be totally right about it, but we're talking about a company here who still can't tell me on the back of the card. They're telling me that this piece of jersey is not associated with any player, team, event, or whatever. Who the fuck knows what they're putting in these cards? This is the company that you think people are going to look back on and be like, "Oh, this is so great. I love this."
Okay, very strong counter, but I will fight you. I'm gonna put on my red gloves now. This started happening, what you just said. We don't even know if this is like forget game worn. That's out of Panini is not doing game worn. They're too cheap. They're doing event worn. And now it's not even event. Some of the cards that Panini is producing with I think football, that it's not even event worn. They just buy something from fucking Fifth Avenue sports what do you mean? One of those NBA store, you know what I mean? The NBA store on Fifth Avenue in New York City, they'll go and buy authentic jersey and they'll throw it in. That's not cool. But to their defense, which trust me, I'm not a Panini fan guy, is that they do specify the language. They do what you just said. It says it back of the card.
Yeah,
But
they're specifying that they're being so unspecific.
they're specifying that it's not game worn or game used.
Now we're gonna give them credit for doing
No,
that.
I give them credit for the transparency.
I'm trying to say that they're being transparent about being so shitty.
Shit, you're right. That to me, that's the imagine a guy just breaking down and telling you, dude, this is some shit. This is garbage shit. We're gonna write it in the back. Thank you for manning up, Panini. They could have just changed the language and said something you wanted to hear, Max, and to make you happy, but it wouldn't be the truth. So the fact that they're still saying genuine, I still give them a little bit of respect. I know it sucks. Trust me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I get what you're saying. I get it, but
respect the transparency. We're putting shit jerseys in these cards. They're not even game worn. They're not playing worn. Whatever, know where we got them. So thank you for letting us know. Like we hate it, but I respect that you want to be transparent and say all.
All right, that's fair. I mean, that's fair. All right, moving on. Let's put a bow on it. Shay's favorite word nowadays. All right, shout out of the day. I'll go first. I'll give my shout out. I want to give out a shout out to a local guy, local friend. He's always at the local shows. Big soccer guy, Mbappe, 2017 Topps Chrome. He got in soccer stuff super early. Really nice guy. You can follow him on Instagram at EA Scully Sports Cards. It's going to pop up on the screen right here. EA Scully Sports Cards on Instagram. Make sure to go give him a follow. He has a lot of soccer heat, but is more importantly just a great guy in the hobby.
Great choice. My shout out of the day. These are getting more and more important. We realize, we're starting to have an influence with the immense big following that we have that's growing every day. Cheap plug to a hobby update, but my shout out today is merge with George. Merge with George, please.
Jurgen.
Yeah, Jurgen. Yeah, his name is Jurgen. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. He's gonna kill me when he hears this. But he's look. This guy, he's legit, man. Like I'm telling you, like you can feel he has a good heart. I can trust me. I'm pretty decent at reading people. This is one of those genuine, like legitimate good guys. But not only he's a good guy, he got some sick cards too. So when you're a good guy,
he's got some heat.
He got some. when you're a good dude in the hobby, Jurgen, and and you have some nice cards too, dude, you're an all-star. So that's why you're my shout out of the day. I love the dude. He has long hair too. Maybe I'm a little biased, but yeah, he's a good dude. Background, he did a little automotive. He was an automotive mechanic. He's in the hobby. Go check out his
Oh
page.
my God, I thought we were doing shout out of the day, not tell your life story every shout out of the day.
He's getting too much press right now. Sorry, Jurgen.
I mean, I love the guy too, but I mean,
Yeah, that's enough.
what are we going through a LinkedIn resume here?
Oh. If anybody wants his LinkedIn, DM me. But yeah, good dude. But that's my shout out of the day.
Sweet. All right, everyone, as usual. Hey, by the way, everyone, we're almost at 300 subscribers on YouTube. Never thought we'd get to this point, to be quite honest with you. Just two dudes talking about cardboard, but here we are, 300 subscribers. To many, that may not seem like a lot, but that means almost 300 people took the time to press the button for us. We know you're engaged. We always appreciate all the messages we get from people, letting us know that they enjoyed the pod. But yeah, shout out to listeners on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, people watching on YouTube. We appreciate you. Shai, any last words?
Absolutely. Unique listeners, well over 500. So like the fact that there's over 500 to 600 people in like an auditorium like listening to us, nervous look. But sometimes I don't want to see the numbers. But thank you for the support, man. Seriously, we love you guys so much. And trust me, we will start giving back to the hobby somehow. We're gonna figure out something.
Damn, Shai, back at it again with the potential giveaways. Okay, sorry. Shout out to the people who messaged me last week, told me they got the reference. I greatly appreciate it. Glad I'm not alone. Shai, hate to break it to you, but you should have got the reference.
Damn, Daniel.
All right, everyone. That's going to wrap up today's episode. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Hobby Update. Peace out.
Mañana.